The ship of the world. Tell me about this. What is it? When did this create itself? And I mean, this is unique to you, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know about unique completely, but in 1999, I was in New York and I was reading the Robb Report, the magazine.
Yeah.
And it had a little ad about this world ship, right? This condominium ship where people lived on. And they were building it. It wasn't made yet, it wasn't completed. And I thought, wow, that's cool. And I ripped it out of the thing. And I thought, that matches me because I'm full-time traveling around the world. And at age 20, I started an affirmation in my head that the universe is my playground, the world is my home, every country is a room in the house, and every city is a platform to share my heart and soul. And I've been saying that every single day since age 20. And I'm going on 66 now. So I've been doing that a long time.
Wow.
And so all of a sudden, this is going through my head, and I see this thing, and I told my wife about it, and I thought, this is cool, but only 27% occupancy rate. So I thought, that's a little risky buying that and not knowing if it's actually going to go all the way to fruition. I think I'll wait till it's around 70 or 80% full. But I kind of kept it and folded it up and just kind of forgot about it. And about a year and a half goes by, 2 years almost. And I'm in Australia, and my wife had a friend who had a travel agency, and they were talking, and her former husband, named Mike, had bought on the ship. And he had bought 2 apartments on the ship. He was a very well-off gentleman. And he was there in town, and my wife said, you remember that ship? My girlfriend said her former husband just bought 2 apartments and he's in town. Would you like to chat with him? I said, absolutely. So we went to dinner that night, right away. And I asked every question and due diligence that I could ask that I was concerned about, even remotely. And he went over there to Norway where they were building the ship in Stavanger and looked at the details to make sure this is truly legit and it's going to flow. And after talking to him, I realized, done. The next morning, as an anniversary present, I bought the ship for my wife. And, well, my condo on the ship. So we bought the ship. This is right after 9/11, because when 9/11 occurred, we were living in Trump Tower, and they weren't allowed to go into the tower at 9/11. So my wife literally got a helicopter and got out of there and went to Gold Coast. Okay. So that's why she was there.
Okay.
And so she didn't really want to be in New York for a while because there's kind of strange energy after 9/11. Yeah. And the ship was perfect because she loved traveling, but she didn't like the airports and stuff. She liked on the ship, you wake up in a different city. Then you go to bed in Hamburg, you wake up in Amsterdam, kind of thing. Yeah. Or you wake up in London after being in Scotland or something. And so what happened is we bought on there, and it wasn't quite ready. It wasn't launching until about now, this time of year, in early 2002. And we went to Norway where the inaugural launch was going to be. And it was a big event. 2 million people came out for it. It was amazing because it was the first in history of this type of ship, which is purely residential ship. The Queen of Norway was there. I mean, an amazing thing. Wow. And the night before at this big gala black tie affair with a very quality people, amazing people that were really influential there, the captain got up in front of the group and danged the little glass and said, may I have your attention? And then all of a sudden he has a slideshow thing. And he says, at one time they believed, he had a Viking beard. Huh. And he says, at one time the world was perceived as flat. And you could walk and fall off. And then eventually they realized that it looked like a sphere. But this has been believed until now. But the true image of the world is this, and up comes the ship. And then he says, this is your new home. The universe is your playground. The world is your home. Every country is a room in the house. And when he said that, tears poured out of my eyes. I looked to my wife and she looked at me and she goes, are you kidding? Wow. That is exactly the words that I had said since age 20. And when I was there, I said, I'm home.
Wow.
And I knew that the world was home. I set out when I was 17 to step foot on every country on the face of the earth. I'm at 155 in a couple of weeks, countries in the world. And I wanted to go to everyone, and I thought, this is the most efficient way to get to every country anyway. And I will speak at every country. I made that commitment. But that allowed me to do that, and that was amazing. And it's truly amazing thing. The most amazing people, and they do some of those amazing adventures. We'll go to the Antarctica. We'll go to Borneo to meet with Jane Goodall with the primates. We'll go to the Great Passage. You know, it goes in adventures around the world with amazing people and doing things. We have Nobel Prize winners that come on board to lecture to us, to educate us. It's really it's the most ideal home for me for what I do and what my mission is.
Wow. How many residents on the ship?
It says on there on advertising about 164, but the real truth is It's about 100 or so, because there's some that have 2 and 3 apartments are combined into bigger apartments.
Okay.
And so originally it was part hotel and condominium, or condominiums. But the hotel part had a different clientele, and so we bought out the hotel component, and then we ended up making it pure residential. And it really then did a great job after that.
And it looks like a cruise ship or
It's
something.
like a cruise ship, but it's just condominiums, people's homes.
Wow.
And they just float around, and some are on and off. I mean, I'm off and on as I'm traveling, but it's really, it's an amazing experience. That's all I can say. It's the best address on the planet.
And you collectively decide the routes?
Yeah, we vote where we want to go.
Okay.
And then they have captain's choice. I remember one time we actually, a certain tide that comes only so often made a little island appear out of nowhere that doesn't show up ever. And we were there waiting for it, and it came out of the water, and we got on Zodiacs, went out there and had a picnic on this island. We only had like 3 hours to do it, 2 hours to do it. And then it disappeared, and we sailed off.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. So it's like your own group of people, and like-minded. You must get to know them really well, and
Yeah,
you just cruise
you
around.
have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them. Everybody probably gets to know everybody. There's some turnover rate gradually. You know, if some people die or some people move on or whatever. But overall, it's I've been there since the beginning, so I'm one of the last group that's the original people. But I'm not on there all the time because I'm traveling and speaking most of the time.
Do you ever teach on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
To
done
the
presentations
residents
there.
and things like that.
And because I wanted to do a speak on every continent, I didn't have something scheduled when I got to Antarctica the first time. But it turned out that I ended up getting to speak anyway. But I organized a black tie affair to 5 million penguins and went out there and got a video of me speaking to 5 million penguins, and they're all looking at me like this, and so I can do a presentation on Antarctica, right?
Where's that video, man? I couldn't find that one on YouTube.
No, that's not on YouTube.